Hi everyone. Lots of folks have been asking me, how do I run tracks? What's the process? I know everybody's using Ableton, or what should I use? This, that, and the other thing, and how does it all work? So I've been meaning to put this video together for you guys for a long time. This will be a big help for a lot of folks, and again, standing on the shoulders of giants. I got to thank Romeo Rodriguez and Stephen Scar for their help and inspiration in this. And by far, we're not the only guys doing this. There's lots of folks. But anyway, so what do you need if you're going to do this? One of the first questions is, what kind of audio interface do I need? And so I usually use a Motu Ultralight AVB. But you don't have to start there. There's a whole bunch of really great audio interfaces. What I tell folks, start off with like the Focusrite Scarlett. And here's the reason why. We want 2 channels of backing tracks, so like left and right. And then we want a separate track that has nothing to do with that. That's going to be our click track for the drummer that has the count off. Maybe verbal cues if you want to add that later on or whatever. But your backing tracks, which go to your front of house and your monitor engineer, are channels 1 and 2. Your click track that feeds the drummer's in-ear mix is channel 3. We're not using channel 4 here in our configuration, but that's going to be the idea. Focusrite Scarlett, it's a little north of $200. It's a great little interface to start off with. USB. And gives you all the stuff that you need. You don't necessarily need the inputs, but they're of course nice to have. But you can see we've got 4 line outputs, really easy to get at. That's great. I also know some folks running on the Native Instruments Komplete Audio, which is about the same price. And you can see the same sort of setup there. There's a main 1 and 2 out, and then a 3 and 4 out as well. Again, 1 and 2 we'll use for our main tracks, and then channel 3 we'll use for the drummer and the rest of the band, whoever wants to ear click. And then a little bit more, but the Motu pieces are rock solid and wonderful in all sorts of crazy environments. You can see this guy actually adds Firewire as well. MIDI in and out, all that goofy stuff. But same sort of configuration. We have a main out 1 and 2, and then an additional 3 and 4 line out. You can get really crazy with this. Like a Motu 16A has 16 outputs, so you could do 16 different tracks worth of playback. There's no limit really. And some touring artists will use 24 tracks worth of playback. You could do that fairly easy with like the Motu 24 AO. And there's a bunch of other stuff out there that does those sorts of things. So those are kind of my 3 recommendations. Any multi-channel audio interface will do. But when you get to this point, you really need, stereo backing tracks plus click. Those are your cheaper options. And of course, the most important part of this is Ableton Live. Live 9 is what I use. Suite is great, but everything that I show you in the next few videos you can do with standard. So don't feel like you have to jump at Suite. It's well worth the investment, but Live 9 standard will get you there. Live 9 intro I would say stay away from, because one thing it's really missing that ends up being kind of a problem with kind of where we're going here is the complex warp modes. And as you need to be able to change keys and tempos and such, trust me, you're going to want the complex warp mode. Those things are the must-haves, and then I will have for you a count-off and click track wave file, actually several. I did them at a bunch of different tempos in the description here on YouTube. So look for those. Make sure you grab those. and that will kind of comprise the things that we need. Oh, and of course you're going to need some tracks, some backing tracks. And the easiest way to do that is to go look on YouTube for the original song. Grab that using something like Pego TV. That's a great website that you can download YouTube videos as MP3 files, or there's a lot of other websites that'll let you do that, or YouTube downloaders, whatever. And you need the instrumental as well. So you need the original song, which we'll use to map out the whole song. Just the record version will work, and then the instrumental, which you could go search the name of the song and then add the word instrumental after it. Sometimes we get karaoke versions, which aren't horrible if it's a live band, and you're playing on top of it. But a lot of times you can find the TV tracks for these songs, the original song that just doesn't have the lead vocal on it, which is cool, and then the band can play on top of that. Or you can do like I do and specially build your tracks, program the stuff. It all works. It's all the same sort of thing. And I'll show you in the next video how we assemble all of that. And of course, before we even get to that, we'll need to set up Ableton Live to be ready and kind of templated for what we intend to do with it. Thanks for watching.